Hi and welcome back to Down the Shed with me, Jason. So we're going to be looking at the spectrum analyzer. So let's not mess about, let's crack on. R9 to R24 is a 1k ohm. Right, so here we have it. So what we're going to do is we're going to tape these down. So as I said before, normally I would go with the old blue tack, but when you've got this many, it's just easier to whack some masking tape on there really. So there we have it, they're all masking tape down. As you can see, all the legs sticking up. What I'm going to do is solder this side, snip, solder the other side, snip, and we'll come back. Well, it'd be rather naughty of me not to give you the typical normal soldering advice. So heat the pad, heat the pin, introduce the solder, flow it, and remove. Heat the pad, heat the pin, let the solder flow and remove. You overheat the pads on some of these boards, they'll lift. It's fucked. That's it, done. So just remember, heat the pin, heat the pad, not too long, introduce the solder, let it flow, give it a second and remove. So that's your soldering lesson for this video. You'll probably get another one in the next experiment. That's all the resistors on the 1k ohms done. Let's have a quick look. There we go. Right, so there we have it. There's a nice row of little blue resistors all soldered in. So I'll get these pins off and then we'll crack on to the next step. R25, R26 and R27 are 10Ks. And the 10Ks are brown, black, black, red, brown. There we go, brown, black, black, red, brown, 10K. So 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31. So R25 is the one in the chip holder. R26 is above the microphone holder or slot and below these resistors up here. So don't forget, if you're not sure, I've got the old component tester. Here we go, 9822 10K. But there's a cracking bit of kit if you've got to find stuff out. So R27 is this one next to this chip here. Again, these single ones can be blue tack down. So that's 25, 26, 27, and we want 29, 30 and 31. 29 and 31 are here on the other side of the little chip, and R30 is just to the right and below the microphone and above the chip. R30 is going in here. Again, just whack some blue tack on those three, like so. So I'll get these soldered in and then we'll crack on with the next ones. Right, so there we have it. 10k ohms, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31. That's the three 10Ks, which are brown, black, black, red, brown. Right, 330 ohm, orange, orange, black, black, brown, R1 to R8. So that'll be these ones here. So let's get those in. Right, that's those in. And while we're here, there's only one resistor left. That's the 200k ohm, which is R28, and that is what looks to be red, black, black, orange, brown. 200k ohm, red, black, black, orange, brown. Confirmed. And R28 is down here next to R27. So we'll just dab a bit of blue tack on that one, I think. So I'll get these soldered in, and then we'll come back. So there we have it. That's all of our resistors on board. I've moved the board and got it zoomed in with as best focus as I can. So we're going to crack on with this little area here. I've got two 104s, C5, C6, that's 100 nanofarads I think. So C5 goes just below the microphone there. That's 104, yeah. And both of these 104s, 100 nanofarads, 50 volts, and C6 is here below where this chip goes. We'll put a blob of blue tack on those, switch on the soldering iron, and there we have it. Next we're going to do, this is a discrepancy, 100 UF 25 volt, this says it's 100 UF 10 volt. Electrolytic caps have a grey band on them. So the grey band is short leg, short legs are always negative, long legs are always positive, and it is polarity dependent, which is why you've got a white and black semicircle within the component. So it's telling you plus in the black, which leaves the shaded side to go in the white section, like so. So what we'll also do is we'll get the microphone in as well. That one we'll put a blob of blue tack on. That's me you can hear in the background, just checking the last video I put up. Okay, happy enough with that so far. Next we'll go with the 503 variable resistor. Right, so that's in. Now we'll get that little chip, LM358P, DNL N93M, for those of you who like to know the numbers, and the little notch in the chip matches the little notch in the board, so that is vital. There we go. Make sure we've got 8 pins on the other side. So do a couple of corner pins on that and then alternate around the chip, because you don't want to overheat it. Bearing in mind we've gone directly soldering to the board. Right, so that's the chip soldered directly to the board. It's in the correct orientation. Right, next we're going to put in the 24M quartz crystal oscillator, because C2 and C3 go either side of it, so it'll be easier to put that in first. C2 and C3 designated 3 zeros go either side of the quartz crystal. Now this one we want to push across close to the crystal, because the edge of the chip holder is quite close to that one. So we'll blue tack those down and then we'll get them soldered in. Right, so there we have it, C2, C3, Y1. So now we'll do C1, which is a 10 UF 50 volt ceramic capacitor. So this one's going to have to lay down. Again, the grey band on the ceramic goes in the white shaded area. Long leg plus goes in the black plus area. And like I said, we're going to have to lie this one down, so that'll basically just go in like so. That one is correct, and UF 50 volts. So now all we've got in this part is the chip holder. So we'll liberate that from its bit of foam. Again, goalpost mark on the board with the notch in the chip holder, and this will hopefully just sit straight in, because I've already offered it in once. There we go. So that now sits nicely around all of those components. Once you've done the 4 corners, you've basically locked it into place. Like so. Right, so that's the chip holder on board. Dab out any of that blue tack that's left behind. Lay that back down. And there we have it. So now we'll slot the chip in. Right, so that chip is in, and that is a STC 12C5A48S2. The next line is a 351-PD1P40, and the line underneath that is a 2411HAHH41 decimal XA. Right, so we've got 7 of the 16 transistors in situ. Let's get these soldered down. Right, so that's 14 of the 16 transistors on board. You will need to part the pins, the end pins slightly to fit into the 3 holes. And don't forget to orientate them with the flat side of the transistor to the flat side of the diagram on the board. Right, so that's all 16 transistors in. They've been soldered down. So the USB-C. Right, the USB-C holder is going to want plenty of solder. That is everything but the LEDs now. Right, so there we have it. All the main components are in. We've just got the bank of LEDs to do now. So I shall crack on with these in a while. Right, you might hear Matt Techmo in the background. If I remember, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. So what I've decided is we are going to go off piece again. So instead of orange, green, blue, red or whatever the sequence was in the website, I'll put a picture of that up. I've decided I'm going to go green, green, blue, blue, orange, orange, red, red. Why not? It's my kit. I've decided we're going to go off piece. So that's how it's going to happen. You can see here I've got 5 in already, so I'm going to solder those in. I'll do the rest of this strip and the next one, and then, well, basically I think I'll just populate the rest of this board, and then we'll come back for the building of the case and the testing of the item. Me, it's going to be an hour or 2 of soldering. For you, this is going to be like literally 1 second. Right, quickly, I'm just going to get this up close to the board. And as you can see, let's try and get this lined up correctly. As you can see, there's like a little arrow which then breaks into a line, a square peg and a round peg. The square peg is the long leg, or the positive, or the anode. The round hole is the cathode, or the negative leg, the short leg. So you can see I've got 5 in. There's plenty of them to go. So a quick look at the rest of the board. So the rest of the board's looking pretty good. I shall get these done. We'll be back. Right, I have tested this. It is fully functional. We've got all the LEDs in. They're all working lovely. Everything's done. All we've got to do now is get this puppy in the case. So let's do it. Right, in the words of Brandon Herrera. Right, you YouTube mother lovers. It's time to put the case together. So I have got the other camera running, but I'm probably going to do this one mostly with the big camera. So we take our back plate. We take one of our longer screws. You've got 4 long and 4 short. Take a long screw, plonk it in the hole, put a nut on. Right, that's those done. So now we have 4 screws, 4 nuts. Take your circuit board, and placing it in the correct orientation. Sit it on top of those 4 screws. Now you can take your brass collets, screw those down onto those remaining threads. Right, so now we've got 2 side pieces, one with a USB port on it, and they've also got notches on the bottom. You see that, like a cutout. So the cutouts want to be at the top of the peg at the bottom. So again, where's the other one? Which one is it? It's that one. So we'll get that back in there. Put the other one on this side. And then the other 2 pieces have got similar notches, and they sit on top of those other 2. So that one sits in there. That one sits in there. Now remember, there's 2 holes cut into the top cover. They go over the microphone and the variable resistor. So basically the case should now look something like this. You can see the 2 holes, microphone and variable resistor, and the one inside for the USB. So now we should be able to screw down these other screws. I am most happy, absolutely chuffed with this kit. I might get 1 or 2 more. So here we have it, one Spectrum analyzer. Let's see if I can get it back here to take off the I don't know with that camera how to take off the brightness, because it's the PC laptop camera. But we can mess around with the variable. I don't want to really, because I've got it set perfectly now for my liking. But if we turn it all the way round to the left, it just goes mental, and it's always at full peak. Turn it all the way to the right, and we've got nothing. Bang, 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 bang. Turn up a wee bit, and there she goes. 1, 2. So what I do is I turn it around to where the greens start flickering, like that, and then back it off a little bit. I think that's perfect. So that's the TJ-56-713 LED Spectrum analyzer. I think it is absolutely pucker. I'm really glad I made this kit. Let's see what that camera thinks of it. There we go, we got a better look at the colours on that camera. Woo woo! 1, 2, 3. But remember, this was set so it was like red, green, blue, orange, red, green, blue, orange. So each of the tall peaks would have been one colour. But now they're uniform all the way along, and we've got green, blue, red, orange, red. So kind of when it peaks you get the red, and when it's just doing its little bit you get green and blue. So I am well chuffed. Like, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comments below because they will help me out. Let me know what you think of this kit. I freaking love it. Shut up. No jumping. Alright. Sit.